Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, Amir Khan, man, I know I've been talking about him a lot, but probably the last Amir Khan video I'll do for quite some time unless something big comes out. But I wanted to kind of camp out on something because, just going back, watching older fights, watching this Canelo fights, I feel like this is a video that has to be made. So I'm gonna make it, man, because I am a fan of Amir Khan. I do like watching him fight. Even though he lost this fight, he did gain a lot of respect for moving up in weight with me to challenge Canelo Alvarez. With all that being said, though, as much as I admire his attitude, his outlook on boxing, the kind of guy he is, he's got a lot of flaws, man. He's got a lot of gaping holes in his game. Obviously, every fighter has a weakness. Every fighter has a weakness. But for a guy with the ceiling Khan has at that top level, I don't think you can really point to another fighter in any weight class in boxing that's at the Amir Khan level who has a medal in the Olympics, with that type of pedigree he has as an amateur, that had as many flaws as he does as a professional boxer. Obviously, he has great hand speed. We know Amir Khan has, bar none, some of the best hand speed in boxing, arguably the best hand speed in boxing, depending on who you talk to. With all that said, though, for all the hand speed he has, he doesn't really have a lot of foot speed that he uses. Doesn't have a lot of head movement that he uses. And we know he has a glass jaw. So it's almost like he has this high ceiling that he'll never get to. And the reason I feel like he's lost so many fights, obviously, I've said it in many videos in the past, that he always has this way of deviating from his game plan. Now, this fight against Canelo wasn't the case. He was hit a bunch of times with some body shots. Canelo started breaking it down body shots. He anticipated a body shot as Canelo feinted, dropped his hands, got caught with a shot, got knocked down. So he actually was doing alright with his game plan this time. But in other fights, like the Danny Garcia fight, even the Lamont Peterson fight for a little bit, sometimes he wants to prove he's a warrior, and he sits there and he trades rather than just boxing and moving, which he should always do. I don't think Amir Khan should really have any more than 2 losses, if that. He's a hell of a fighter, and the reason I feel like he hasn't been able to really capitalize on the talent he does have is, it's obviously partially his fault, because you can't just say it's point fingers and say it's somebody else. It is his fault, but at the same time, I don't think he's really done he himself has done the best job of picking his team and the guys around him. Freddie Roach, he's a well-renowned trainer. Personally, I think he's very overrated as a trainer. He traditionally takes guys who are already established fighters that have gone on losing streaks, and once he gets them, they don't necessarily improve. They don't really improve, but they get matched perfectly. And the narrative of them improving and becoming this reborn fighter happens. Like, I'll give you an example. Miguel Cotto, he had lost a couple of his fights before getting Freddie Roach as a trainer. When he got Freddie Roach, you saw him matched up against Daniel Giles of the world. He beat Sergio Martinez, which was a pretty great win. He beat a whole host of fighters that were matched. But once he fought Canelo, he lost. Same thing with, there's a lot of guys he has. It's a bit early right now, so I know I'm not doing a good job of explaining it, but you get my point. Freddie Roach, traditionally gets guys who are established. Virgil Hunter, another guy, his second trainer. Hold on. Virgil Hunter, a guy who's trained Andre Ward since he was a kid. Virgil Hunter, basically a guy that has done nothing with any other fighter he's had. His only other fighters outside of Andre Ward and Amir Khan is Andre Berto. And let's look at the Andre Berto Mayweather fight. In the Andre Berto Mayweather fight, he literally came out and said, I heard him with my own 2 ears say that he has no game plan for Mayweather. He's just going to get him to get ready, and whatever happens. There was no game plan. He just conceded that Berto had no chance. And that's not what trainers do. So, you look at the two trainers. They're good, decent to me. B, C level trainers, but they're not like teachers. They're not guys that are gonna get every last ounce out of their fighters. Amir Khan has not improved since his tenure under Virgil Hunter, and nothing about him is different than when he was Freddie Roach. There's absolutely nothing different about him. So that being said, the truth about Amir Khan is he's always had an A-level ceiling just based on his pedigree, him winning a silver medal at 17 years old, hand speed, athletic ability, being big for his weight class. He's always had an A-level ceiling. There's no doubt about it. But because of the glaring holes in his game, lack of defense, lack of foot movement, a bad chin, he's been reduced to a B-level fighter, and that's sad. But part of that, like I said, it isn't all his fault. I mean, obviously he picks his trainers, but if he had a guy like, if he had a guy like John David Jackson, right? And before I even get into why I'm saying this, let me just tell you the difference between a guy like John David Jackson and a guy like Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach, traditionally speaking, gets fighters who have already been established in boxing, trained up, they have a style, they fight that way. Nothing really changes. He just kind of fine-tunes things they already do well. Nothing wrong with that. But John David Jackson, if he sees glaring flaws in your game, he will change your whole fighting style, and he will add tools. If you're already a good fighter and you do some things well, he adds tools to it. Prime example: Sergey Kovalev, when he first came to the United States. If you watch him when he had about early in this tenure of John David Jackson, or even before that, he didn't really bend his knees, had minimal boxing ability, and relied a lot on the straight right hand. As he's gotten with John David Jackson, he's developed more craft, moving around the ring, bending his knees, going to the body more, putting his punches together, relying on his jab more, and that in turn has made him a better fighter. It's turned Kovalev from being a guy who just had an A-level ceiling to being a guy that is now an A-level fighter. Okay, there's a difference. And likewise with Chris Algieri. Chris Algieri got destroyed by Manny Pacquiao. Got knocked the canvas 6 times by Manny Pacquiao. A noted light puncher. A guy that against Pacquiao and a lot of his other fights just relied on his jab and pivot moves and really couldn't fight in any other style. If you look how he fought against If you look how he fought against Amir Khan himself, Chris Algieri buzzed Amir Khan. Chris Algieri was able to come forward and fight in a aggressive pressure fighting style, which was the last thing we expected from Algieri. So that within itself has already shown John David Jackson to be a great teacher, and you would expect that from him, being the fact that he comes from that George Benton line of trainers. George Benton, a great trainer himself. So Amir Khan doesn't need a Virgil Hunter. Amir Khan doesn't need a Freddie Roach. Amir Khan needs a John David Jackson. He needs a teacher. He needs somebody that's going to literally make him better, whether that's in the form of adding new tools, changing his fighting style. I mean, regardless, I feel like Amir Khan, as much as I love him and I love watching him fight, he's made his $13 million. He is good on money for the year. He can go. If I were him, he can go relax with his family, his beautiful wife, his daughter in the UK, have a great vacation, do what he has to do. Just get that weight off because he had to put on some weight for this fight. So gradually take that weight off over time. Enjoy your time with your family. Regroup for 2017 because I don't think he should fight this year just for health's sake and just the fact that he has to take the weight over time and get back to his natural weight. But I really do believe that he should get a new trainer. I think a lot of the problems he has, some of them are his because it's just of who he is, but a lot of it is just because of who he has on his team, and he's not really giving himself a chance with Virgil Hunter or Freddie Roach in the past as his trainers. He's got to get a teacher, a guy that will teach him how to add tools to what he already has, and get every last ounce of talent out of Amir Khan because he has a lot of it. He does, and it's just I don't think I can't remember a time where I saw a fighter who possesses so much damn hand speed, so much athletic ability, but has so little head movement, so little foot movement as well. He does not move the way he should around the ring. I know against Canelo, I thought he moved pretty well, but I'm saying in the past, um, he has a lot of tools. If he got a guy like John David Jackson in this quarter, I have no doubt in my mind that Amir Khan could become the kind of fighter that could crack a pound for pound list. I think he's that good. And I think he's still that much left in the tank at 29 years old, even though he has taken, some knockouts. But you see, the good thing about Amir Khan, people can say, yeah, he's got knocked out, but knockouts necessarily aren't a bad thing, because if you look at like the Prescott knockout was early in his career, that was a while ago. The Nate Garcia knockout was roughly 4 years ago, so it's not like his knockouts are all happening like one after another. They've been spaced out over time, and he hasn't really taken a long beating, like a long, slow, brutal beating. Those are really the worst types of beatings you can take in boxing, because those are the ones that take years off your career. Not that knockouts don't take years off your career, but not as bad. It just happens. Boom. Okay, you're gonna suffer a little bit of obviously some brain damage because you got hit really hard, but not as bad. Definitely not as bad as a slow beating for 12 rounds. So with all that being said, I think Amir Khan can still fight really well for another good 3 to 4 years, but I think he has to make that change now. He has to take this year off. He's got to really evaluate where he's at, why he lost that fight, what he could have done better, what changes need to be made, not just to himself, but his fighting style, his team. I think he needs a new trainer, and that's the truth. He has not reached his ceiling as a professional fighter because he hasn't had the right guy in his corner, and a lot of that, that applies to a lot of fighters. Any great fighter has always had a great trainer, whether that's Muhammad Ali with Angelo Dundee, whether that was Sonny Liston with Eddie Futch, or every fighter needed a great trainer. So that's what I think, man. But I think Amir Khan, obviously for him, I'd say next year you definitely want to get him in there with like a soft puncher at welterweight, a soft punching D and D class fighter at welterweight. Just get him a win where he looks sensational and he can gain his confidence back, maybe even score a knockout. Get him one of those wins. Get him another soft touch, but maybe stepping up a little bit. And then I say at the end of 2017, he should be talking about fighting Danny Garcia in the rematch, and we'll see what happens there. But yeah, that's how. If I were his promoter, which I'm not, obviously, I'm just a kid. I'm just a kid from Dania who likes boxing, and I talk about it here on YouTube. But if I was his manager, that's how I would move Amir Khan. And like I said, I'll get him a new trainer, because he just has too much talent. I feel like he's wasted a lot of it just because of who he's had in his corner. And the fact that he's too brave for his own good. I mean, respect to Amir Khan, he's brave. He's too brave for his own good. He'll take challenges. He wants to be great. He said that in the past. He's actually proven it with his actions. One of the very few fighters that can say he's proven it with his actions. But he's got to get smarter in the ring. And he needs the right guy to bring that out of him. A lot of it's just having the right guy to bring it out of him. And Virgil Hunter's not going to bring it out of him. Freddie Roach definitely not going to bring it out of him. So Amir Khan, I don't want to see him waste his career for another 2 to 3 years. If he doesn't change his trainer, I'd say he should take one last big fight, or 2 soft touches, another big fight, and retire, because I don't really see him going far with Virgil Hunter in his corner. He has to get a teacher in his corner. He's just too much talent, man, to be wasted. And it sucks to see, because he's a great fighter. He's a hell of a talent. And, hopefully one day, God willing, I get to meet Amir Khan and I get to interview him, because that is by far one of my favorite boxers. A guy that I admire a lot in the sport. A guy that, seems like a humble guy. But with Virgil Hunter in his corner, I feel like he's wasted a lot of time. He wasted a lot of time trying to get the Mayweather fight, the Floyd Mayweather fight, and the Pacquiao fight. And he's also wasting time with Virgil Hunter in his corner. And listen, I respect Virgil Hunter. He's obviously trying to make his mark in boxing, trying to earn an honest living like any other working class citizen in America. But I don't feel like he's the right fit for Amir Khan to bring the best out of him. And that's my honest opinion. But let me know what you guys think. I'm just trying to give you what I feel is the truth about Amir Khan. I think his game plan against Canelo was good, because they had him, pivoting, going around the ring, moving, being smart, but he fought scared. I think when Canelo started to close the distance, that's where the head movement and slipping punches needs to come into play. And it didn't come into play. And if I was Amir Khan, if I was Virgil Hunter or whoever's in this camp, I would get Amir Khan some tape on Roman Gonzalez. I don't know if Amir Khan's ever watched Roman Gonzalez fight, but if Amir Khan, if somehow you see this video, if you get a chance to watch Roman Gonzalez, if you haven't watched Roman Gonzalez before, that's who you need to watch fight. Because that guy, he has, very similar to you in many ways actually. Roman Gonzalez, throws a lot of punches, not punches in rapid succession like Amir Khan. Like Amir Khan's throwing 6-7 punch combinations, but Roman Gonzalez throwing over 1,000 punches a fight, and he's fighting in close range. And with all that being said, he's not really getting hit that much. He's punching, he's slipping, and he's not really getting hit. He's always moving there. He has the best head movement in boxing. And if I were his trainer, if I was somebody that was in the Amir Khan camp, I would be showing him Roman Gonzalez footage, because that's seeing that fighting style and even trying to mimic it if you can would help out Amir Khan. If you can mimic being an offensive defensive fighter, that would take Amir Khan to another level. But I'm just spitballing here. What do I know? I'm just talking out loud here. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Amir Khan, do you guys think he should fight again this year? If so, who would you like to see him in the ring against? Personally, I don't want to see him in the ring again this year. I think he should take the year off and enjoy it with his family and take off that weight that he had to gain for this fight gradually over time. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Should he fight again this year or wait till next year? And do you think that maybe he needs to make some changes to his fighting style and his team? Because I personally think he does, to get the best out of him as a fighter. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. And you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.